I heard that, Steve, your career actually almost went a different direction in TV, and you almost kicked Leanne to the side. You were starring in a show called Dreamgirls.
Who told you about that?
I don't know. I have secrets that come
It came in a dream.
You know, we were supposed to start filming season 3 of our show, and everything's on pause. So we were supposed to be in the beginning, the first month right now. I was supposed to be back in Pittsburgh. We were going to be filming, full on, and now we're just in a waiting pattern.
So how does it feel though? I mean, you guys, you keep very steady with your clients outside of the show as well as on the show. Have you been able to do anything at all? At the design side, I take it you're pretty well shut down, but on construction, here in LA, it's still considered essential in certain aspects. So is that keeping you busy, Steve?
Well, I'm in Pittsburgh, and we're shut down. We can't work until hopefully next week, which has been really nice because I'm doing all my own projects and catching up on my own life. Yeah. But I do look forward to getting back to work.
So this is my question for you. Most contractors that I know make beautiful homes, but their own house is always a mess because they have all these unfinished projects. What is the most annoying unfinished project that you have at home that you've had for years that you just have never got around to doing?
Well, I never did my closet, so I finally got a closet done.
You did?
During quarantine, yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to give us a tour?
No, it's a disaster. even though there's cabinets and things, I'm still trying to figure out how to use a real closet.
Well, hey, if you need advice, I'm the closet master.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, because this is the thing. Most people, when not most, but a lot of people, when they're designing a space or they're doing a renovation, I find if they're looking to sell, they never think of closets. They'll put in a beautiful kitchen, they'll put in a beautiful bathroom, but they always forget about closets. And then the first thing homeowners say when they walk into a house is, there are no closets, or these closets are useless. So I'm like the closet organizer nerd.
We're bad at closets.
You're bad at closets.
I'll come in and I'll help out.
I'm like, if the closet can be a place for the bathtub, then let's just lose the closet.
Says the lady obsessed with bathtubs.
Yes, exactly.
I heard you have 3 tubs you're so obsessed with bathtubs that you have 3 in your house. Is that all 3 in one room so you can use this one for Monday and this one for Tuesday?
I mean, that is true, but I only use the one, but it's fine. I've had many a beautiful bathtub and bathroom. I mean, we're on our 5th project, and our breaking news is that Eric and I have just sold our house and we're moving back to Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Aw,
I didn't know that.
Bam.
Now you're leaving us.
Leaving you guys. I mean, we had a chance. We had a chance to hang. In fact, your brother and his sweet girlfriend came over and checked the house out.
I know. I heard.
We had so much fun with them. It was really quick and very. I actually have no idea what either of them looked like. They had their masks on and everything. But
they said it was beautiful. Your house. They said it was absolutely stunning, and you have nice views as well.
Yeah. And and this is the best. We found this amazing house and this amazing neighborhood, and we loved it. And we thought we were going to hunker down for a long time. And then everything happened with Corona and quarantine, and it just changed everything. We just started talking about, one, we liked the simplicity of less work. That was big. We're like, wait a second. I would have been on a plane for, 3 out of 4 days this last month. I would have missed all of this. And that was one big thing. But then also we just realized how much we can get done from home, which was major. Mm-hmm. And then people who are talking about they can't be with their families. I was like, wait, we're out here on purpose and we're not with our family. If we're going to get stuck, if things are going to go crazy and it's hard to get on an airplane, then if we want to get stuck at home. So home is Pittsburgh again.
Home is nice. Steve. You miss your brother.
Oh, isn't that sweet? I can't wait to be an uncle.
Yeah.
You are an uncle, by the way.
Well, now I'll get to spend time with my niece, and that'll be awesome.
I know. That's the other thing. She's so cute now. She's pretty much always been cute, but she's like becoming such a cute little personality. She turned 1 in quarantine. We had a surprise party for her with all her stuffed animals, and
That's so cute.
she loved it. She had like the best day ever. I mean, she had full attention from us, you know. But that's the other thing, is just bringing her home to be with Aunt Michelle and Uncle Stevie and Grandma. So we're gonna go find a garden and a grandma. That's what we're doing.
Nice. So I was going to say, so Michelle is your other sister, right?
Yes, she calls herself the other sister.
The other sister. Oh yeah, I was going to say, so I hear you're a car guy and a bike guy, so you're restoring a Harley and an old F-150, right?
Yeah, I was working on my bike, and then my car has taken over, and it's almost done. It's going to be amazing. I have a 1979 Ford F-150 I bought like 5 years ago as a work truck, and it didn't get through the inspection. So I bought a bed. I was going to put a bed on it to get through inspection, and then that just turned into me restoring the whole car. So it's like I had the time, so I went for it.
Nice. Now, what's the plan at the end once you restore it? Are you actually going to use it as a work truck, or it's going to be too nice to be a work truck?
I mean, it's probably still going to be my work truck, but I'm going to be like terrified every time I put in garbage in there. You're
gonna put some hydros in it, some hydraulics, and you're gonna give it a kit, and you're gonna put in a boom box and tour town. I had an old F-150.
Cover it with like bubble wrap.
Whatever.
Wait, Steve, it's that fancy? You're making it that fancy?
Yeah, I might have to just get another work truck, like a big dump truck or something.
You deserve it. I mean, I had an F-150 and then an F-250, and I loved it. That was my first work vehicle as well, back when Jonathan and I started our construction. And
are you still a truck guy, Drew?
What's that?
Are you still a truck guy? Do you still like trucks?
I know. Overall, I like a car. I like a car that's classy. I mean, actually, my dream project that I'm working towards right now is finding an old car, like a vintage car, like an old Aston Martin or a Jaguar or an MG, and then putting an electric engine in, so like a Tesla battery, and then also tricking it out with all the latest tech. That's what I would love. So you have a classic look, but you have all the technology and electric of today. So
we'll make us a truck one. That's what I want, but in a truck version, please.
A trick truck. All right.
Truck.
Yeah, I'm like, I love old cars so much, and then finally I was thinking, you know what? I need a car where the windows open and where the lock works. Like, I kind of had a realization, like, where maybe the air conditioning works. I mean, you know, just the little things.
So are you going to
give us the old look with the new car?
That's what I was going to ask with your 79 F-150. Are you keeping the crank, or are you going to put in power windows?
Oh, no, it's crank. No air conditioning. I bought a little fan that plugs into the cigarette lighter.
I like how your fancy version of the truck has a air conditioner in the cigarette lighter.
A fan. Yeah. You can see you drop
those windows that you turn so they catch the air when you drive.
Oh yeah,
work pretty good.
I have those.
Keep moving. I've got my eye on a Lincoln Continental. That's my next one, convertible.
Oh, nice.
That's real air conditioning.
So then, what are you more passionate about, construction or cars?
Ooh.
Well, cars is a hobby. You know, construction is my income, so it's like definitely cars.
Yeah.
No, I just like making things. It doesn't matter. You know, it's more fun to make things when there's not someone telling you what to do.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about me.
Someone telling you what to do. I know Leanne's like, don't get used to this.
I know, I'm coming back.
You know, it's nice I do like making things, whether it's for work or not.
So if that's sort of your hobby and your passion, Leanne, aside from design, and I mean, everyone who talks about HGTV says you are one of the most amazing designers on the planet. I mean, we even doing Rock the Block, I absolutely loved walking into your design and seeing the home that you did. But what's your passion aside from real estate, home design?
Well, you know, I was thinking about Steven, like he has a car addiction, but sadly, I think I have a home addiction where, I mean, it is just a creative outlet, and the basics is I see something beat up and needs love, and I know what to do to fix it. So it becomes, I mean, the amount of houses I've designed in my brain and on paper that I never owned or never actually walked into, you know, is crazy. I just like it. It's an outlet for me. The problem is it's an art form that you need a bunch of people involved. Like how many people have to call their brother when they want to create something? It gets very frustrating. You're like, where's the plumber? Where's the electrician?
I do that too.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I like all things design. I actually, when I have brain space, I write a lot. Like, I write songs that my friends turn into. I write poetry that my friends turn into songs that are out, like that have been on the radio.
Oh my gosh!
Like what song?
There's a band called Escondido that I wrote a lot of the lyrics to. And they're on their third album. And then Nikki Lane, she's like a country twangy friend of mine. We wrote a Christmas song together.
Sweet.
That's been out and on the radio, and like you can hear it in the department store when you're walking through.
Do you see your name in the credits saying written by?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you have to send us a link. I had no idea.
Hey, Leanne, what happened to the I Can't Dance Dance song?
Oh, the Can't Dance Dance. That was my country song, but we better not talk about it because it's not out yet.
I love the sound of that.
I wrote it 10 years ago, but it still's got time. I mean, I wrote the theme song to Restored by the Fords. That was a song Escondido and I wrote together.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That is so cool.
Can I hear you sing like 2 lines from one of your songs?
I don't think I write. I mean, I wish.
Steve's also like, nope.
This is, I thought we had something there. Tell us a bit about the dynamic between you two growing up. So, I mean, now here you are in your work life. You're seen all over the world. People love your designs and the renovations that you do. But you have your little sister bosses you around all day long, Steve. So how does this feel? Was it the same dynamic when you were kids?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now I have 3 women bossing me around, not just Leanne. Don't forget. So it's Michelle, Leanne, and Aunt Jackie all bossing me around nonstop.
Mom, Jackie's mom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Jackie's mom. And now 3 nieces, which I'm sure they'll keep that tradition alive. But I mean, I've always been really kind of quiet and just do what I'm asked to do. Really.
So it's a dynamic that works for you.
It's kind of why we're here a lot, I think.
You guys should see Leanne's face right now. She's like,
I know.
Yeah, I was wondering why she's making that face too.
So how do you feel about that? Like growing up, what was the dynamic from your side of it?
Well, Steve definitely tried to avoid me at all costs, so I'm getting sweet, sweet revenge now. I always wanted him to hang out with me. Like my friend, my little best friend, Tracy Papp, we were, second grade or something, and we would always try to go hang out with Steve, and he would not have it. Like we were talking about, because we're still buddies, we were talking about we'd put on boys' clothes and go over and be like, hey, can we play basketball? Like thinking they wouldn't know it was us. It was not our best scheme, but like we really always I wanted to hang out with Steve. Steve had these forts out in the woods. And then when he wasn't there, I'd go decorate them, like take flowers and tablecloths and curtains. And then I'd take it down before he got back so he didn't know.
Did you know Steve?
I had no idea.
That's hilarious.
It's probably better that way. My buddies would have made fun of me.
There was like a fireplace in that one, Steve. I mean, he had a pretty intense sports.
So then you did, as a kid, you did design, and as a kid, Steve did
you were
construction.
Building.
I had like forts lofted over creeks, and like they're pretty amazing actually. When I think about it, they doubled as bridges for mountain bike riding, and yeah.
This is cool. This is like a new venture, Forts by the Fords.
There you go.
I'm in. I love that idea.
So after your young days of fort building and whatnot, when you went off to college, so Steve, what did you study in college?
I went for Parks and Recreation. So I was
to the forts.
Steve,
my goal was I shouldn't have gone to college to begin with, but I did it. I graduated, pat myself on the back. But anyway, I was a raft guide. I was a manager of a raft company. I worked at a ski resort and ski patrol. But in between those things, I always did construction because that's how I made money, because you don't really get paid a lot being a raft guide or a ski patroller.
I worked up in Banff where it's all like ski people and whatnot or guides. And all everyone did was make enough money to spend it at the bar on the weekend.
Yep, that's it.
And so did
Well,
you
I
think
always said the day that Steve's diploma arrived, it said a Bachelor of Recreation. I was like, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Steve figured out how to cheat the system.
So then
at West Virginia University, nonetheless.
There you go. I think it's perfect. We have our niece is going to university right now, and she's taking forestry, and it's the same sort of thing. Like I said to her, so in the end, what's your degree? And she's like, oh. But now she's shifting more into land. She wants to be a landscape architect, which is awesome.
Ooh.
So that is a great career for her, and she has a very good eye for design too. So.
What town is she in?
She's in Vancouver.
Vancouver, Canada.
We need her. We need her over here.
We'll send her to Pittsburgh.
100%. I feel like that's something that I think I could get into, not designing, but just, caring more about the space and the trees and the gardens. And like, I think even I'm down, it makes outdoors so much more appealing,
Yeah.
Garden. It's all about, I'm not in the chickens mode, but.
Oh, I'm getting some.
You are?
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
At your place?
Very loud.
At your place there now?
Yeah. So we just finished our garden. It's all planted. It's still, we're on the borderline of every once in a while we get cold nights. But I was actually supposed to go look at some chickens today. I have some friends that with chicken experience. They were going to give me a little lesson. But we're going to get some chickens here at my place. I think we're going to get 4 to 6 chickens.
Wait, what do you mean though?
Exciting.
Like a chicken expert that gives you advice? Like what? There's a chicken that lays an egg.
My situation was I want chickens, but if it doesn't work out, I'm not making chicken wings. I wanted to give my chickens to someone else. So I just want eggs. I'm not a killer. Right.
Yeah.
So I called my friend that has chickens. I said, hey, can I get a tour of how you do chickens and a lesson on, feeding and caring for, and they have to live in your house apparently for the first couple weeks. Oh. And if it doesn't work out, will you take these chickens off my hands? So.
And they said, I love
chicken sandwiches. How do you handle
sandwiches.
Chickens and a dog?
I'm hoping they'll be really good friends, but if they're not, chicken soup.
What?
No.
Well, what if they're tougher than your dog?
Out.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a pit bull.
Okay, the chickens are probably not going to take down your pit bull.
Oh,
she just licked her chops. She's like,
yeah.
She's like, yeah, I did.
Bring them.
Oh my God.
I think she'll be okay with them. I think she'll have fun with them.
Okay, have you heard of the Instagram account Drinking with Chickens?
No.
Okay, check it out. I'm looking at it now. They have a whole bunch of chickens and cool cocktail posts, and they also have dogs. So they can live happily ever after.
And they can drink. Chickens can drink, apparently. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know about the drinking. But.
With your outdoor space in your garden, I mean, Linda and I are the same. We love the zen feel of having a lot of greenery, having an outdoor space. Right now we have 2 different gardens that we're building. We have your typical garden with your dirt and fertilizer and whatnot. But we're trying to do a very organic growth, and then we have a hydroponics system. It's a tower, and there's no dirt, but you have all of your. It uses 95% less water. Apparently, it grows 3 times as fast. So between the 2, we're seeing which we love more of. But
fun.
Our dream is to have a farm and live on that.
Ooh, in what town?
A massive community garden.
We haven't thought about that because we love California, but I mean, also our family are from Canada. So we love, where my parents live up in the Rocky Mountains is stunning, but that's really far north and cold in the winter. There's conveniences to being in the city and whatnot. And I've lived in condos in the past as well. And there's some conveniences to that. But at the end of the day, I just love the outdoors. I grew up on a ranch. Linda's the same. She's always loved the outdoors. So having that sort of space to move and grow. And I think also for kids, it's nice to have that space too.
Yeah.
How many times have you moved? I know. Did I just miss the announcement?
Oh, sorry. You cut out again. Try that again.
How many times have you moved in your adult life?
Wait, before that, what announcement did we just miss?
You were talking about babies.
Oh, we were? Oh, no.
No announcement yet. But I will.
I thought Steve had an announcement. I was like,
yeah. When are your babies coming, Steve?
The baby chickens will be here in a couple weeks.
Nice. Well, we can't wait to meet them.
I just want to say I too do not have an announcement in case anybody cares.
All right, perfect. You're like one and done? Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we started renovating houses though, JD, Jonathan, and me, we literally were moving every 6 weeks to 10 weeks. Like it was.
So
you were living in your construction.
We were, and that was hell. I absolutely detested, and anyone who ever says, we're going to try and save money, we're going to live in our renovation while we do it, any homeowners, especially families with kids, I say to them, don't do it. One, that is the road straight to divorce. Two, it's hell waking up with a sore throat every morning and from the dust. But we did it. We did it because we were trying to save money, and we were doing, flipping houses every 2 months basically for a little while, or 2 to 4 months depending on the size of the house. And we were making a bit along the way, but then I look back now and I'm like, it was hell. But that was our business, our real estate company, when we were, helping clients buy and sell homes. After a while, Property Brothers came from that, because we would say to them, well, before you sell it, why don't you fix up the house? Because we could make this beautiful and you can get more money. Or when they're moving into it, we say, why don't we buy this house and then we can do the renovations, so that we were doing both the real estate and the construction. And then we had a business where we had a moving truck, and then we had some furniture and storage, and we would come in and stage the home for people that needed it, helped it sell quicker and faster. We get a better commission off of it, and then we move to the next. So with you guys in your younger years though, have your personalities changed much, do you find, or is it still the same dynamic?
We always talk about how we love that we can go to separate houses at the end of a shooting day, right? Like we don't have to get in the car and go to the same place, which I think is big. I mean, I think the success of our show has been because people like the dynamic of siblings. And I think that's a big thing they love about you guys too. But they, for us, they love watching siblings. I'm the little sister who seems to be bossy than Steve, bossing Steve around. And either you have a sibling and you relate to the dynamic, or you kind of wish you did, so.
You had been doing design for years. You started in fashion, clothing fashion, and then moved into interior design. And then Steve, you were doing other jobs and kept coming back to construction, which paid the bills. How did you guys start working together? Was it from the get-go, or did you realize at some point, you know what, we should work together? We work well.
First of all, I need to get you our book. I'm going to make you read our book, Work in Progress. So Steve and I wrote a book about the journey into HGTV and how we grew up in a creative childhood that kind of allowed us to create and not be afraid of failing, and all of these fun stories are in it. I'm going to send it to you because I know you got free time now for the first time in your lives.
Lots of free time.
But we did. So I was doing fashion as a creative director and a stylist, and I fixed up this little one-room schoolhouse in Pittsburgh. And I wanted to do this bathroom where the tub was in the shower under the slanted roof, because it was a little house, and nobody would do it. I called 3 different bathroom companies, and everyone said, you can't do it. You can't do it. I've never seen that. So I called Steve. I was like, I need your help. So Steve and his buddies would come over, and we would just give them tequila, beer.
Never get any money.
Never money. We just make sure that there was food and drinks, and we put music on. And really, that's how we made this house, was through the kindness of Steve and his buddies. And that turned into, that was in Country Living magazine. So they had heard about me through a friend.
Wait, how old were you at that point? How old were you guys? In your 20s?
Yeah. This is probably 10 years ago.
I think I would say 29. She was probably 26 or something.
Yeah.
But the reason I helped was because she would just start tearing holes in her house and just be living, just be like, oh, I'm going to take this out with no plan to put it back together except for this vision. And I felt bad for her. So I was like, all right, we'll come over. And basically she would tear something down, then we would put it back together. And that's how it worked.
That's right. And it worked.
That's a great
I don't recommend
signal.
anybody do this because it's not good for most relationships.
Yeah.
Turned out fine for us.
Got you a TV show.
Oops, there's another
TV
hole.
Show. So that article, the same time that was happening, our friend Peter Barbie told his friend who was looking for HGTV show's talent his friend Lindsay Widehorn about what was going on in Pittsburgh. And it was probably 6 years from when I talked to her for the first time to when we actually filmed something. And sure enough, they called. And I don't think we really even realized what we were getting into. I think we kind of signed up to do this right before HGTV wasn't such the phenomenon it is now, thanks to people like you, by the way. But like it wasn't as big or talked about. I mean, it was just this channel that did home repair stuff and we loved it. And now it's part of culture. We just didn't know what we were signing up for. I pitched Steve. I said, I work with my brother if you're interested in hearing about that. And man, they loved that idea. I was like, what did I just do?
You actually told me that she was the one who sort of like pulled you into this whole TV thing. You didn't want to do it in the beginning. So what did you think about that?
I would never say I didn't want to do it. I just didn't think anything would ever come of it. She said, hey, do you want to do a TV show? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, that sounds better than just doing construction my whole life. So like, let's do that. Yeah. And I never thought for a second it was going to happen, and then we got a pilot and we got through that. And I was like, I think that might be it. We might never do another one again. We never know, and then you get through another season. You're like, I don't know if they'll ever call us back again.
You're real people and you're so easygoing. And I think it's nice to feel that energy.
Yeah. And just that outlook you were describing, Steve, that you don't, I mean, it's crazy that you don't think they're going to call you back for another season, first of all. But just to have that outlook, it is refreshing to, I don't know, there's a sense of ease about it because you're in this moment, you're in this season, giving this your all, and who knows what will come next. And there's something really cool about that because it shows people that you're doing this for right now. You're not just doing it for the show. Like this is what you're doing in real life anyway. And yeah, it's
however,
something I would love to adapt to.
I think adapt and adopt. I think something that's more important to talk about right now is that I heard that, Steve, your career actually almost went a different direction in TV and you almost kicked Leanne to the side. You were starring in a show called Dreamgirls.
Who told you about that?
I don't know. I have secrets that come around.
It came in a dream.
Tell us a little bit about this. Were you a dream girl?
There was a point in my life where I moved to LA. I first moved out there and I was trying to live on couch surf on Leanne's couch, which didn't last very long. And I was framing houses in Long Beach and surfing. And then I heard about background acting. So I went and did some background acting gigs. And I was on a couple shows. I was on Die Hard and Jericho and Dreamgirls and Numbers and a bunch. So there was like a couple weeks where I just did background gigs.
Oh, nice. And then you realized not for you.
I was like, yeah, it wasn't my thing.
Well, but tell them about your victory. Dreamgirl.
I got to meet Danny Glover. Danny Glover sat down next to me and we chatted one day. That was
cool.
No. Okay. So Steve says we're back at Christmas time. Steve's like, I was in Dreamgirls. They had the camera right on me. I'm going to be in Dreamgirls where you have to go watch it. So the whole family goes to watch Dreamgirls, which is an extremely long movie. So like 2.5, 3 hours in, we're like, another song, which is a great song, but we're like, okay, Steve, you're not in Dreamgirls. And then this scene comes. He's like, this is my scene. This is my scene. It is thousands of people on a red carpet, thousands. And we're like, okay, good job, Steve. You did good. And then all of a sudden it's only his face. And he has a
hand my face like this. I think this was the beginning of when I started wearing a mustache too.
Oh my gosh. He had a Fu Manchu and he's like this. The whole screen is his face and we all jump up. We're screaming. We're high-fiving.
Everybody else in the theater is like, what the hell are they cheering for? Yeah.
It was so funny. I will never forget it. So I think Steve's career was, very successful according to the Fords.
I probably should get back into background acting.
I thought it was going to be really easy.
Hold on a second. Leanne froze.
Alaska.
Wait till we get her back.
She's frozen.
It's all right. This is where we make fun of her.
Yeah.
Go, Steve.
It was interesting back then because that was like right after we started. And when we started doing this, I was super nervous when cameras were around. And it was only when like Vince and MB came along that I was like, okay, I'm hanging out with my friends. It's like playtime. Just be normal. So like even like first season, it was just like, I kind of like hid away a lot and just let Leanne run with it. And, you know, it took till that second season where I was like more comfortable. So even when I came to see you guys doing your show, I was just like intimidated and scared.
Yeah.
So now going into your third season, obviously you've worked with this crew for a while. Do you feel more comfortable on camera in general or just like within this show?
Oh yeah, I feel more comfortable with everything. I mean, obviously the longer you do something, the more comfortable you get. It's, you know, working with construction and camera around gets more comfortable. Being in front of the camera, you kind of forget that they're there, especially with Vince and Mary Beth, just because I feel like they're my other brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then it's actually funny because a lot of the times Leanne and I will kind of do things and we see their responses.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this seems to be working. Like if Vince is laughing behind the camera, you know, you just said something that was actually fun.
But he doesn't laugh. He does a little giggle. He's like a 5-year-old giggle.
Yeah.
And for a giant like him to giggle like that is always funny. And does Leanne leave all the time, just like she did with us, middle of shooting? Is that? I can't remember what you were saying, but I do have another question for you, another random thing, which cracks me up. I find it very entertaining. You need to tell me about your pocket eggs.
Both of you.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Isn't that
Steve.
both of
I thought you were talking to Leanne.
I have Crabby crackers and Steve has pocket eggs.
Okay, tell us what those are.
So I don't really leave the house without a couple hard-boiled eggs in my pocket, and sometimes, and I like to keep a little hot sauce and salt and pepper in the car sometimes too.
Yum.
That's a Linda move.
It's like there was a while where all I ate was like chicken and hard-boiled eggs, and then I was trying to like eat more regularly to be healthier, and that just kind of took form. And then I would people would know where I was because I would just leave shells behind.
So you leave shells, but did you also smell like egg?
No, I don't think so.
Leanne's like, yeah.
Leanne's nodding.
I mean, yeah. And then like sometimes he'd find an egg from who knows how long ago that he hadn't eaten, like a pocket egg.
Rolling around in my car.
And what did you say, Leanne?
Like,
crackers?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the Fords. If we're ever cranky, it's just because we're hungry. So like my mom she named it Crabby crackers, and she'd put those cracker sandwiches like in everyone's car, in everyone's bag. I mean, they were hidden all over the house. It's like that. Coffee for Steve and give the Fords food, and then we're happy as little clams.
Have you guys listened to the podcast Finding Fred?
No.
It's all about Mr. Rogers and
Did you watch the movie, both the movies, the documentary and his?
We did. We saw the doc first. My fear with the doc was, are they going to take this iconic person who everyone loves and show the dark side of him? But there was no dark side. He was genuinely the most sweet and loving person. And then we watched the movie, and it was such a great story. That sort of the father-son relationship and whatnot as well. And it was awesome.
I always say I would go to church of Mr. Rogers.
The Church of Rogers.
Yeah. I mean, I was crying before the credits were done in the beginning. And then actually my Mr. Rogers documentary story, which we grew up very much on Mr. Rogers, being Pittsburgh, being like such a great guy. And Eric and I went to see the documentary. And then that afternoon we found out we were having a baby.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
that's amazing.
It was quite a day.
You should have called her Roger.
I know, little Miss Roger.
Oh,
Ever is a cute name, though. I love it. So what was your process for trying to pick a name?
No process, really. It kind of came to us. We were, we didn't think we were gonna have a baby. It a surprise when it happened. It happened very quickly. And so it wasn't like we had anything in life planned in any way. But we had all these cute, fun names that we had on a list, but we weren't really, wasn't a big thing. And then we were talking about forever. And I said, and ever. And Eric said, are you mine forever? And I said, and ever. Aww. And then we looked at each other like, oh my gosh, that's her name. We never looked back.
That's cute. So if she was a boy, would it have been in the same? Did you know if she was going to be a boy or a girl?
Yeah, we found out. We just had the doctor tell us. We didn't do any it was crazy. We had the sonogram doctor tell us. So it was very real. When you find out their gender, they become actual beings. It's really crazy. But so we knew it was a little girl, which was mind blowing.
See, we've had this conversation because I'm someone who likes to know things ahead of time and be organized and be ready. But Linda sometimes just wants to flow with how things go.
It's a baby.
Yeah. And so I'm like, do we want to know? Do I want to know? Maybe we do. I don't know. So at this point, I feel we don't have to.
You think you have everything planned and you think you know how you're going to act and react.
Yeah.
Just be okay with going with what you need at that time.
Right. And everyone does it differently.
Drew needs to just respect whatever Linda wants because
exactly. Even before that.
You cut out a little bit. I think you said Drew needs to disrespect everything Linda does. Is that what you said? I think so.
It's all about Linda, okay?
Yeah, of course. It definitely is. It always is. If you guys were going to take on another show, another type of design and renovation, something as a special, what's something that would excite you to do? What type of property? Where would it be?
You mean to do it within our show, doing an old?
No, if you were to do a special, the way Jonathan and I have done an extra show of Brother versus Brother where we're competing flipping, or when we've done the renovation of a family home, something for us we want to do as a castle one day.
Or just anything, not just for a show.
Yeah, what would be a fun project that you guys would tackle together?
I've always wanted to tackle just odd buildings. Maybe it's some sort of steel mill building around here, or a caboose, or an old way station, something like that, something weird, or a boat.
Cool.
To convert it or to keep it to restore it?
To make it into a home.
Cool.
To restore something that wasn't supposed to be a home into a home.
Yeah. I think that Leanne is frozen again.
Oh, I thought she was just posing.
I like your ideas too, Leanne. Yes.
Yeah, she's got some good ones.
Yeah.
She's deep in thought.
Tell us the real dirt about Leanne now that she's not here.
Although she did mention...
She's an angel.
She did mention earlier, she said when you guys were growing up, you grew up in a very creative environment. You guys were always encouraged to make whatever you want. How was that through music?
we were never told not to do anything. We were always...
Hey, hold on 1 second, Steve. I'm just about to let her back in. What's one thing that's really embarrassing that I can bring up about her? Just a real quick thing. Is there anything?
Being sandwiched between mattresses.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So when remember what you're going to say about Linda's question, and we'll bring it in when she's back.
Oh my God, there she is. 2 mattresses? What?
Wow, sandwiched between 2 mattresses.
What did I just miss?
You tell me.
Every time I leave, what's this story, Steve?
It was actually the one of those fold out couches, and we would put it in there, close her up, and then sit on top of it.
That's it. You tuck her away in the fold-up sofa.
She wanted it to happen. She'd be like,
"No,
put me in
I
the
didn't."
couch.
Is this your show idea? Is this your other show idea?
Well, we just went off on a tangent.
It's a blast from the past.
No, I was saying that I wanted to decorate, make homes out of buildings that weren't ever meant to be homes.
Yeah. I love that. Actually, our older brother, JD, he's had that desire as well. He wants to take an old church and convert it into a cool home. And I've actually seen that in the past where people have converted a church or a small, I don't know, it's almost like a cathedral type property, but which is really cool. I like the idea of an old theater. You have an old opera house or an old theater being turned into like a live work kind of a space would be kind of cool. I want
to take it even further. There's this thing that I really like down. It's next to the river, and at one point, trucks or a train would go under it, and it was a tower over the vehicles that would dump probably like slag or some sort of material for the steel era into whatever truck. And it's just, all it is like 4 posts and sheet metal and like a sieve in the middle. But I was like, let's make that. I want to live in that thing.
That's like your fort. That's like your ultimate. That'll be your adult tree fort that you get to do.
I can only imagine the permitting for that. Something like that.
I mean, we did go video that, Steve, didn't we?
We might have.
It is pretty gorgeous. I want to like go look at gorgeous, awesome architecture all over the country and explore it. Explored by the Fords.
With your brother?
Sounds
well, you know, me and Michelle.
Oh.
Have you
Any
pitched
Ford
Michelle?
will do, really.
Your mom, get Jackie in there. Have you pitched the rest of your family for shows, or do they ever appear?
Yeah, they were in. So we did Steve's Place last season, and we revealed it to our mom and our sister, and they did an awesome job. And the people want more, man. Everyone wants more Jackie Ford. Our mom's so cute. So we told her, bad news, you're on the show.
It's
so sweet. It's like, it's fun to have proud family. Like, I think my mom loves the street cred she has, you know, like we can be in any national magazine and that doesn't matter. But when we're in their local paper, oh man.
Yeah. You've made it.
Yeah, so we have made it.
Tell me, for each of you guys, what is your favorite thing about your sibling? About each other.
You first, Leanne.
Okay, I'll go first. My favorite thing about Steve is, well, I call him the mayor of Pittsburgh because everybody knows him. He knows everybody. They're all buddies and close. And I like that. He's a fun Friday night hang. And then also, he really can make anything. He can really make anything. All of my crazy ideas that I've come up with that, you know, I tell him the problem, he makes it all happen. And that's his fault because now he's got to make more happen. Nice. But I really appreciate that. He's a creative contractor, which is very hard to come by.
And that kind of relates to my favorite thing about Leanne is that she has a creative mind that is like kind of beyond mine and challenges me to create things that I didn't know I could, or like, I like that challenge that she brings to the table.
But thanks, Steve. But he always takes it the next day.
And I can pretty much, even though I sometimes I'm like, oh, come on, really, Leanne, that's too much. It always kind of works out. So
that's
I have a formula now with Steve because anytime I have an idea, he'll just say, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. So I just wait. I say, oh, okay. And 24 hours later, he's like, okay, we're going to do it. And
she's frozen for you too.
Oh, man.
Cliffhanger.
And here's how. I'm super cool.
But you were finishing up your answer about your childhood, and you said you were never told. Oh,
no, I was saying that how our parents basically allowed us and support us in any kind of dreams and ideas that we ever had. So they always kind of, they would get us the tools to do whatever it was that we wanted or help us along
and try different things, right? Yeah. We were never afraid to mess up or to fail or, you know, Steve played the saxophone and I played the flute and we were horrible at it, but they supported.
They were happy to see me fake it for years.
There you go.
It makes all the difference. I feel like, while we were writing our book, I was pregnant with Ever and kind of analyzing how our parents supported us and encouraged us and created this universe where we could be creative because we weren't afraid to mess up. And it just was so interesting I always say it's hugs and high fives, you know, I'm a mom, I'm like, I just want to support Ever with everything she's doing and let her try things we're human. We are so imperfect and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't ever remember my parents saying no. They're always just, yes, we can do that.
Well, not with,
unless it was stupid.
Unless you were
dangerous.
Unless you're like doing something wrong.
I was an angel as a child. I never tried to do anything that was
Right.
a little shady.
Like I could think of some no's, but yeah, I mean, just being as, and the other thing is like, they were so supportive of us, that when they were serious and strict and, said, no, we listened. That was really big.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great note for us to wrap up on, but a huge thanks to you guys for joining us. Now on our Zoom chat here, Steve is to that side of us. Leanne is below us. So I say, Steve, lean over to your left side and hug us and hug down. Leanne, hug up to both of us. Group hug.
Or we'll high five. We should high five.
We should high five.
Hold on. Steve, put your...
We're all going to high five Steve?
Woo!
All right, so Steve, put your hand to your left.
Wait, where are we?
Steve, hand to your left. Yeah, and turn your hand out like you're high-fiving us. All right?
That's awkward.
And
Yeah,
then
it's very awkward.
push forward.
And I'm raising the
there you
roof.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. High fives. High fives.
Love it.
So
Woo!
weird.
All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. Enjoy your isolation and your separation because we know you two siblings need to be back together soon because you need to make more amazing shows.
Oh, well, thank you for supporting us.
Yeah,
We love hanging out with you too. So come over anytime when it's time.
When it's
Pittsburgh
time.
visit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love to.
And for making forts. All right. Thanks,
Bye,
guys. Bye.
Bye, Linda. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Love you guys.
Bye, Scots.